Okay, I want you to imagine 13-year-old Stephen going to his local Blockbuster. Yes, I'm that old. He notices a black and white movie on the shelf that piques his interest but sees it's rated 15. He tries his luck regardless, and in an ironic turn of events, the clerk behind the counter clearly didn't give a shit and let little Stephen rent his movie. That movie he rented was Clerks. Okay, enough imagining 13-year-old me. When I first saw Clerks, I was blown away by the dialogue, which felt like it was lifted straight from me and my friends' conversations. Clerks is filled to the brim with blue language, talking very openly and sometimes explicitly about sex, but these moments aren't treated as shock value, they're just part of the dialogue of modern life. By not drawing attention to the vulgarity of the conversation, director Kevin Smith managed to keep us entertained by the sheer mundane aspects of working a job you fucking hate. By capturing this zeitgeist emotion, Smith somehow managed to create a movie that touches a broad spectrum of moviegoers and at the same time, a narrow group of nerds, geeks and the apparent apathetic. We've all worked jobs in which we hate. We've all had those feelings of ineptitude where we know we could be more if everything wasn't so shit. Clerks is one of my favourite movies to rewatch for a number of reasons. For one, there's scenes in Clerks which came out in 1994 that feel like they could be straight out of rural America 2021. Clerks is an odd movie though. Is the acting noteworthy? No. Is the cinematography captivating? Not really. Is it suitable for a 13-year-old? Definitely not. But what Clerks has going for it is something more than that. A celebration of the mundane. In Clerks, the story is there's no story. We follow Dante working a day at the Quick Stop convenience store, with Randall working the register at the video rental store next door. And that's it. So what makes it so memorable? Well, the dialogue. In an almost Tarantino-esque fashion, director Kevin Smith manages to convey some of the more obscure issues that men face in young adulthood, such as insecurity surrounding your new girlfriend's sex experience level versus your own, the metaphysical weightless feeling when you're in your 20s with no clear path on where to go, that weird protective feeling guys get when their best friend gets back with an ex, the constant battle between disrespecting the authority yet trying to keep some semblance of authority of your own if you have it. Smith covers all of these and more in a way that you as the viewer don't notice. It's wrapped up in dialogue that feels natural. At least it did to me and my friends. Clerks had more of an influence on me than I care to mention. I mean, does this font and monochrome colour scheme look familiar? Producer Scott Mosier and DP Dave Klein said that they only filmed in black and white to get around the colour grading issues raised by the store's fluorescent lights. But in doing this, combined with shooting on 16mm and projecting on 35, Clerks has that cult graininess that you see to it in other indie classics such as Evil Dead, Slacker, and even Stranger Than Paradise. Kevin Smith went on to make more films like Mallrats, 2 Jay and Silent Bob films, and Red State, which is another little favourite of mine. But none of them hit like Clerks. That 13-year-old Stephen watched that movie and saw himself and his friends represented on the big screen that other films can't even attempt to feign. It was an insightful wail of ennui, the movie equivalent of grunge music. Unique, abrasive, and unapologetically blunt. And that's all I've got to say about this movie, except if you haven't seen it yet, please do. And remember, 37.
Oh my god. 37. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks.
In a row?